Hi, I'm Steve Wylie. I'm with E2 TV, and I'm here at the E2 social event here in Boston. I'm joined by Phillip Easter, who is Director of Mobile Applications for American Airlines. Phillip just wrapped up his talk here, his keynote talk at the conference. First of all, Phillip, great job.
Thank you.
Now, you alluded to in the first part of your talk about some free air miles. So that was my first question. Can you hook a brother up around 3 American Airlines miles?
It depends on how this shoot goes.
Okay, all right, we'll see. We'll do our best with the video, and we'll see how it goes.
We start at 0. We could go a little higher.
Okay, all right. Okay, that's a good place to start. I wonder if you could just kind of briefly describe, you covered a lot of ground in your talk. What was the big takeaway message for the audience today?
Well, I think the takeaway was to understand that mobile is not a device that we're pushing existing applications or use cases to. There's new stories that can be told with this device that's personal now, and it gives you a new window into your customer, the time when they don't have access to a traditional PC or a tablet. This mobile device has the opportunity for you to connect with them, and maybe at a time when it's most poignant.
And you talked a little bit about the role of IT in this, and sort of that traditional IT controlling the infrastructure and the technology that we're all using, to a new world where your customers are using any number of devices, and you're having to sort of adopt whatever's being used in the consumer space as well. How much of a challenge has that been for you guys, just that in terms of that mind shift around control and what the role is of IT?
Yeah, because IT always had the walled garden, and we enjoyed the space. It was comfortable, and we knew how to predict and provide service. This mobile environment really has changed the game. And at first, we were hesitant to accept these devices. But if you look at how the devices are used, and we started using them personally, is that you had more value, you provided more value to the company, you were participating in more threads, more conversations. So the employee is now more connected because of these devices. So we thought that if we stop that, then that's worse than having ultra secure VPN tunneling, something crazy that we initially thought we had to have. And so we had to look past concerns of security and look at the upside of opening up the enterprise for 24/7 access. And our employees are 24/7. They're remote, they work on holiday, and so to give them that type of access at their convenience is huge.
Okay, and you also talked in your keynote about, you gave an example, a video example of a person sitting on an American Airlines flight and having interaction with, over the Wi-Fi in the airplane, back to the call agent on the ground with full access to your information as a customer.
Right.
I wonder if you could talk about, there's a lot of pieces that go into making that happen. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about some of the technology behind some of what you've deployed.
Right. So some key building blocks need to be in place. On the ground, you have to have a call type center that's IP based, and most are. We recently upgraded all of our call agents, over 5,000, to a new system that allows you to connect to it and exchange data very easily to mobile devices. That's one thing. Then you need to have, obviously, connectivity. And we, like we said, we'll have 90% of our fleet by the end of the year will have Wi-Fi. And then you have to have application integration. So those are 3 components that you need to have. But once you tie those together, the sum are bigger, right? So the actual connecting those 3 together creates a whole new type of conversation and a whole new awareness of the customer. Before, the customer would have to contact us, identify who they were, the whole number thing, get routed, and now that's all gone. So we took down the roadblock to entry. The barrier, there is no barrier. All it is a button. And now that conversation is very seamless. You saw the video, it was very seamless. There wasn't any hassle. Instantly I was identified, and my customer service agent knew why I would be calling. These are some reasons why Mr. Easter would call. So I think those are 3 technologies that enable it. There's a lot of things behind the scene. Obviously, it's not as easy as I made it out to be, but the actual end result is that easy.
For the customer.
For the customer.
That's the main thing.
That's the main thing. Because it's tough running an airline.
Right.
There's all these moving parts. Hundreds and hundreds of moving parts and systems and people, and then you add in the weather. And then so any opportunity for us to open up a new conversation that's delightful, you know, the two have to go together. So those two coming together is huge for our industry.
And you talked about some of the technical challenges. You talked about some of the organizational challenges around kind of getting IT to think differently about mobile. So I wonder if you could identify what's been the biggest kind of roadblock or challenge that you've had to overcome in this process.
I think some of it is trying to maybe go too fast. We've been out on the forefront in mobility, as I said, back to 2000. We were doing mobile devices. And I think the landscape is changing so fast that IT typically likes to have more visibility, more roadmaps into what's going on and how to plan. And it really forces you to adopt a more agile. It almost forces you to become internally a startup, because agile and startups really mesh well with mobile development. And the main thing is to make sure you give your internal development groups access to these tools and encourage failure as well. Rapid deployment applications is better in the long run than methodical, waterfall, slow delivery of mobile applications. The fact that you can give an employee a mobile device with data that they didn't have before, that's huge. If you pick the wrong device, that's fine. They're so inexpensive, you can get the proper device in 9 months. So don't worry about concern about devices changing, or maybe the manufacturer may not be there. There are certain standards now in the market, HTML5 and other tool sets like Adobe and some other ones that allow you to mitigate any risk of going across different platforms. But focus on getting those applications out fast and simple, and then constantly update them, iterate. And I think if you do that, you'll have some failures, but as soon as you get a mobile app in your employees' hands, they're going to tell you exactly how to make it better. So start there and get ready, because it's going to be a wild ride.
Well, that's great advice and a great way for us to wrap up the interview. So thanks so much. And again, great talk out there. And
thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Have a good day.